Hi guys, my name is Lily Jane and I'm the animal communicator and energy healer. So right off the bat, I want to share with you my intended purpose with the YouTube videos I'm going to embark on. My purpose, I feel like my sole purpose, is to be a bridge, to bridge the gap between the animal kingdom and the human kingdom. And I'm very overjoyed and happy to, number one, be able to do this and to bring people into this much, much higher awareness of our intense and beautiful relationships with animals as our partners instead of something that we have as pets or own. So that is my intention, and I welcome you on my journey that I'm embarking on and to come along with me for the ride. So please follow me. I have an animal communication and healing group on Facebook, which is a public group. You're welcome to look for that. It's called Animal Communication and Healing. I also have a website, is animals-speak.com. Animals-speak.com. I'm also on Hawaii Kine, Hawaii, Kine, kinemarket.com. Okay, so here we go. So I want to talk today about what animal communication is and isn't. So animal communication is not a psychic reading. We don't even call it a reading, really. I'm going to school at the Gurney Institute, which is a worldwide nonprofit school for animal communication that's been around for 30 years. So she doesn't like using the word reading at all because it's really not a reading. You're not using psychic powers, you're not using mediumship or any special gifts that you have developed. Basically, what animal communication is telepathy. And telepathy is not a gift, it is a human and animal skill. All beings communicate on the telepathic level, all sentient beings, including the insect kingdom, the plant kingdom, the crystal kingdom, the animal kingdom, and the human kingdom. So we all communicate telepathically. The problem lies, the problem lies in our education, upbringing, and our cultural indoctrination, I should say, as human beings. We're not taught to use that portion of the brain. We're not taught to hone in on that skill, which we have naturally as children. And rather, we're taught to be right-handed, which is left brain, which is the analytical side. We're much more male-dominated, male-oriented, analytical training using communication. And as you all know, that's about to change because we're about to step into the Aquarian Golden Age, which is all divine feminine. So we're going to start using our right brains more. And with the right brain, communication is intuition and telepathy. So this is something that is going to happen more and more in the future. And you'll notice that you will be able to start communicating on the telepathic level a little bit more every day, especially if you understand the nature of it. So this is simply how animals communicate. So animals are used to walking around, hearing all these human thoughts, like thousands of them, and especially the wild animal kingdom. Thousands upon thousands of human thoughts floating around in the atmosphere. So what do you think they do? They just ignore it because they're not used to human beings that talk back to them or that address them directly or ask them questions. So they can hear our thoughts. We just don't hear theirs because we just don't know how or take the time. So let me go in on this a little bit and talk about what telepathy is. So, have you ever had a friend call you and you go, I just thought of you, I just thought of that person. That is telepathic communication. Or sometimes you'll think about something and it'll just pop up. That is also telepathic communication and manifestation. But those things that we call coincidence are not really. We are telepathically sending out a thought, which we call a thought form. And those thoughts are received. They're transmitted and they're received. So what a thought form is, a thought form is like a bubble. So say you have a thought, it goes out into the universe and it's like a giant bubble. And so there's all these bubbles floating around with all the thoughts that you've ever thought. And you can destroy these bubbles if you know how energetically. But if you don't know how energetically, they're out there. So every thought you've ever thought is out there. When you're walking by, or you have, let's say your animal, you're thinking something. Your animal is receiving those thoughts, it's understanding, and it's trying to communicate back with you, but you're not quite receiving what the animal is communicating. So you know how some people are more auditory and some people are more visual or more feeling? So the same thing with the animal kingdom. There's some people, when they think thoughts, they're very visual. I grew up hard of hearing since I was 6 years old. So I'm a little bit more visual. I see a lot of visuals, but I also can channel on a clairaudient level. So I've been able to channel angels since like the 1980s because of my hearing issue. But I'm very visual because of the hearing thing. So I grew up reading lips and just making everything into a picture to remember it. So, like, I have to have a visual on everything. Animals are like that too. Some are more visual, some are more auditory, and some will send you feelings or emotions or even pain levels. They'll send you pain. I had a situation where I communicated with a horse who was actually lame and in a lot of pain on one side of its body. And I do energy healing sessions remotely on animals, and the horse then sent me its pain. Extreme. I would say on a scale from 1 to 10, it was an 11. I was like almost knocked down on the side where I couldn't walk. So I called the horse's person and I said, I think your horse is sending me its pain and asking for healing. And she's like, okay, well, let's do the healing. And as soon as I said to the horse, we're going to do the healing, the pain just came right out of me and went away. So that pain was just a knock, 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 I need you right now. So sometimes when I communicate with animals, sometimes the answers will not come in auditory. I prefer the auditory because I get a lot more information. Sometimes they'll send me images, one after the other, after the other. And then I can clarify and go, well, is this what you meant by this image? And like I said, they can send feelings, emotions. You'll get emotions that are not yours, or feelings or pain or whatever. So that is telepathy. Telepathy is not always that you hear some kind of, angel speaking on your shoulder or animal. It comes in different forms. So you may already be doing this. And hopefully you are. And if you're not, just follow my YouTubes and the Facebook Live posts, and we'll go along and you'll learn more and more and more. I'll give you some training tips, behavioral tips, different issues with animals, and then we can do little mini readings with your animals if you want to send me a picture of your animal and like one question. And then I can do sessions with you. I charge $150 for the sessions. I spend anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, so they're not little quickie things. I talk to the animal for at least 2 hours. I talk to you for at least an hour, maybe more. So I charge $150. Currently, I'm doing some case studies for the Gurney Institute, so I'm doing half price if you're interested in doing the case study. I have 15 more slots open for case studies. And then I'll be charging the $150. So right now it's $75 if you want to do a case study. So just go to my website and contact me through there. It's animal-speak.com. Okay? And so a little bit more on how animal communication works. So through animal communication, we can help with behavioral problems because animals are our partners, and I truly mean this. They are our partners. They can partner with us, and they can understand and have as much cognitive knowledge as talking to any human, if not more. And I say if not more because they remember who they are, they remember their soul purpose, they remember why they incarnated in the body that they did, they remember that you're their soul family, and they can tell you things that humans cannot even begin to remember. The human kingdom has pretty much forgotten who they are, what their soul purpose is, and have sort of this cosmic amnesia. We are awakening right now. This is what we're walking into. December 21st, 2020 is the golden age. This is our grand awakening. So put your boots on and come walking with me. We're going to walk into the golden age together, maybe fly. So the animals do remember their soul purposes. So they can share a lot of this with you and help you understand your role and your connection with and around them. And we all incarnate into families, and that includes our pets or our animals. Sometimes they were our pets in every lifetime. They were animals protecting us in every lifetime that we've had, or most lifetimes. Sometimes they were human. Sometimes they were our husbands or wives, spouses, sisters, brothers, mothers, daughters. They were also human. We were also animals. So it can interchange depending on the lesson that you need to learn in this lifetime. I had a really good example of I talked to this dog. The dog clearly did not know that it was a dog, and it proceeded to tell me about this entire past life thing. For 4 hours I talked to this animal. They told me about a past life. They were like a ruling elite prince and king in another lifetime, in another country. They spoke to me for 4 hours. It was factual, historical information. First names, last names, wars, everything. So the animal was upset because it didn't have a say-so in this lifetime. And it was upset with the family because the family didn't include this dog in all the family decisions. And clearly told me that I'm not involved in the household decisions. And this is wrong because I need to be involved. Well, when I got to the end of the conversation, I always ask, what is your soul purpose? And this animal said, to be humble. And it was like, aha! I go, so can you see why you became a dog in this lifetime? When you were a ruler that caused wars in another lifetime? To be humble? And the animal said, I see it now. I understand now. I understand the connection now. Aha. So it was an aha moment for me and for the animal. And so you can then communicate back and forth with each other and gain a better understanding. So sometimes the behavioral issues are not really behavioral issues. It's a misunderstanding. And once you can talk to the animal, the misunderstanding's cleared up and the behavioral issue is gone. It doesn't need to be trained. You don't need to go to a trainer. So this is some of how it works, and I'd love to talk to you further. Please keep in communication with me. Invite yourself to Animal Communication and Healing Facebook group, public group. And I follow me on YouTube. And please share, because I'm going to give you more information as time goes along. And if you'd like a personal reading, by all means contact me. And I also do not only the behavioral problems, training problems, physical problems, pain, illness, disease. If your animal is going through the dying process or at the end of life, you can do a session with me, I can ask the animal if they're ready to leave their body and if they're coming back to you. I talk to pets or animals that have already passed on, which is very, very um, um, heartwarming. And a lot of healing takes place in those sessions. I can talk to an animal and ask them what their new choice of pets are or furry friends. If you're going to get a new friend, winged, finned, or furry friend in the household, I can ask your existing animals which animals that they would like, and they could go and pick it out. We can do it live from a rescue center or pet store. That's really important. We'll talk about that more. I do past life sessions with you and your animal. I do something called Animals as Mirrors. A lot of our animals will mirror their humans. It's not necessarily the animal's problem, it's the human's problem. And the animals are just holding up a mirror and saying, "You got it? This is it." So we can do animals as mirrors. I help locate lost animals. I can give you all the details of what their surroundings look like, smell like, taste like, sound like, and help relocate your lost animals, and a whole lot more. So please stay with me on this journey, and a hui ho from Hawaii. And before I go, I'll show you the beautiful scene of the ocean. Okay, aloha guys.